Hello viewers, welcome once again on today's episode. Yes, today's topic might be strange or awkward to you, but it is important we talk about it. The topic is sickle cell ailment being 100% preventable. That's strange, isn't it? Yes, it might sound strange to you, but automatically it is not strange because it's common, and it's quite surprising that most people getting involved in this are equally educated young ones, which is the strangest thing about it all. I recall in the days of the past, love was totally out of choice. As in, people in those years never had choice to decide whom they get married to. You don't have your willpower to decide. I remember my mom telling me a story that she got married at the age of 16, that she was brought to my dad's house and she ran back to her father's house and they sent her back. That was how she got married to my dad. They did their wedding and all that. They never had their own willpower to decide. They never had their own choice to decide whomever they wish to get married to. But in this 21st century, in our own time, the reverse is the case. Love is no longer blind. Love can see with its two koro naked eyes. Yes, love can even search the pocket of whomever you want to get married. Love has the willpower to decide the class of the person to be falling in love with. Love can say, this is what I want, these are the qualities I want in a woman, these are the qualities I want in a man. Love can determine what it wants. Love can check out the physique of a person. Love can actually see that this person is short, this person is tall, is dark in complexion. Love would still go further to say, yes, this is the right person for me. My heart, years out, or my heart has chosen you, that I will spend the rest of my life with you. Fantastic. So what brought about the topic of this episode is about a beautiful young lady who has fallen in love with a handsome young man. I've known these people for the past 3 years. They were not steady off and on. The girl involved, she's educated, she just finished her youth service, and finally she called upon me, that was a few days back, that this young man has proposed to her. I said, congratulations. So what's the next step? She said they are planning to get married. I said, okay, hope you have found out the necessary information required. What's this man's genotype? Because I know this girl's genotype. She said she doesn't know. I said, are you out of your senses? In this modern time, you've already said yes to this young man, and yet you did not ascertain his genotype, his blood group. These are the things that are necessary for you to say, as in to finally conclude whether you are walking down the altar or you are taking this man to your people in the village for the traditional rites. Now, what about the young man? The young man's case, his case is pardonable in the sense that he is not a graduate, though they don't teach you everything in the higher institution, not even in the secondary school. There are things you needed to learn on your own. Not everything is being taught. Having passed the 4 walls of the university or having been interacting with your environment, people around you, have seen cases. Why not ask questions? It is excited now, but the continuity or the continuation might not be full of that excitement. So you can see how young ones of these days, who are carried away by affection, who are obsessed, or who are, I cannot use the word desperate, no, because marriage is a good thing, and everybody who has grown to the age desires to have somebody to share the rest of her life with. So it's not desperation. But when you are getting carried away or getting obsessed by somebody, please try to understand certain underlying needs that you should know about a person before going into marriage. Sickle cell anemia is 100% preventable if only we understand our genotype, blood group, the rhesus factor of the person you have fallen in love with. Before ever that love start turning your brain or spinning your head that there is no longer a going back, please ensure that you find out from this man, this lady, what his or her blood group is, what his or her genotype is, the rhesus factor. You just understand the blood group matching. Okay, let's take for instance a lady whose genotype is AX. It's not advisable for this same lady to go get married to a man whose genotype is AS. No, the outcome of their children will not be that fantastic, So, and the same thing is applicable to our blood group. Try to understand and define your blood group. There is what they call rhesus factor. A man who is a rhesus factor positive is not advised to get married to a lady whose rhesus factor is negative. No, their childbearing might be complicated, so it is not really good having these problems for our children who do not know nothing. Since there are ways we could prevent all this ailment from lingering on, let's just avoid it. Let's try to find out, ask the necessary questions we require to ask from our partners before ever we proceed. It is better to prevent something from happening than allowing it to happen. This is why you see most people, they run into marriage, they run out, because they did not find out, or they did not take the necessary precautions they should have taken at the beginning of their relationship. And when they finally got into this marriage and start having children, it might become a problem for them to settle fully, or they might start producing children who are excess. This is not fantastic for anybody, and nobody would want to be watching his or her children passing on or suffering all the time. Instead of thinking of how to develop your home, invest in some assets, you are using the money to be treating your child, rushing your child constantly to the hospital. This is not fantastic. We have our loved ones, people around us who's already sickle cell or who have this ailment in their system. We should not discriminate against them. They have the right to live normal life, happy life like us. They have the right to marriage and all that. But you know what it means. Before they get married, if you are an SS patient or a person, you definitely wouldn't get married to somebody who is the same SS, and you wouldn't get married to somebody who is AX, because the chances are that you still give birth to SS children. So the best bet is for you to look for somebody who is an AA and settle down with. So I am not speaking against people who are already suffering this situation. They have the right to live a happy life, just like every other person. They have the life to be loved and to love as well. The major point I am kicking against is for the young ladies and young men of this generation who get carried away by love and they go into marriage without considering these vital factors of understanding their genotype, their blood group, the rhesus factor before falling in love. Love is no longer blind. Days are gone when they say love is blind. So see everything, ask all the questions, understand everything about your man, about your woman before ever going into marriage or into a long-time relationship with that person. So that's my point. Please click on the red subscribe button, like, and put down your comment. You can suggest for me what topic you would like me to speak on in my next episode. Thank you so much for being a wonderful viewer.